Hey everyone, it's Simon and I'm out here in Marion, France in the Grand Massif. The weather today is absolutely sucky, but we're going to make the most of it. Today's video, I've got some new gear, including the new board, the Jones Ultra Twin, and I'm going to take it for a couple of laps out here in Marion today and answer the question, do you need to wax a snowboard as soon as you buy it? But first, let's go for a couple of laps. The answer to the question whether you should wax your snowboard straight away as soon as you've bought it is going to depend a lot on you and your circumstances. So let's dive straight in and find out some of the factors that could affect your decision to wax your snowboard. The first thing to consider is factory wax. Now, every ski or snowboard that leaves the factory comes with a factory wax. It's important to note that the factory wax is not to the same standard as it would be if you handed your snowboard or skis into your local ski tech, or if you were to hot wax it with an iron at home. But there is wax on the board. The condition of that wax over time might vary though. So what can affect the condition of the factory wax on your brand new ski or snowboard? Well, just think about it for a second. Some boards and skis are sat in shops for longer than others, which means that it can be quite a long time between your factory wax being applied and you getting out on snow. For example, the board that I'm using today, I bought in the sale at the end of season. That means the whole of winter it would have been sat in a warehouse or a store. The manufacturers get around this by wrapping the boards in plastic. So actually when I took the plastic off of my board, the condition on the base was actually okay. So I guess the next question is, how can you actually tell that your factory wax is okay before you use your new ski or snowboard? Well, it's fairly simple to be honest. You need to turn your board over and look for dry spots on the base. These are normally white patches closer to the edge, which might indicate that your board is in need of a wax. These will be especially clear on a sintered base. Now, if you want to learn more about sintered and extruded bases, you can go to my website where I've got a post that explains the difference between both. That is also linked down below in the description. Stereotypically, sintered bases require more waxing than extruded bases to run quicker. You tend to find sintered bases on higher end free ride snowboards that are designed to go fast. Extruded bases, stereotypically, tend to be on park boards, which are going to get bashed about a little bit. My new board has a sintered base, and when I checked it before snowboarding today, there was no signs of that dryness. So I decided to go out and use it. After just a couple of runs, you can already see white patches appearing on the base. So in hindsight, it probably could have done with a hot wax before use. But there are actually some other aspects to consider as well. Mainly, I'm actually not a professional, so I'm not sure that it matters that much how quickly I go. The resort that I'm at today is one that I'm familiar with. I know there aren't any long traverses where I'm going to get stuck. So in terms of my need for speed today, it's not 100%. Therefore, whether you wax your snowboard before you use it could depend on whether your first trip is a longer trip or a shorter one. Now, if you've got the ability to wax your snowboard when in resort, you can travel with a waxing iron and you have experience doing it, then yeah, I would leave the factory wax on, ride it for a couple of days, and then when you're feeling that you're slowing up a little bit, wax the snowboard yourself. If you don't have that ability, it might be worth taking it to your ski shop that's local to you if you don't live near the mountain. That's because when you get into ski resorts, the prices of hot waxes just seem to go through the roof. Last year in Griments, somebody tried to charge me the equivalent of about £80 UK to get my snowboard waxed. It was unbelievable. Since then, I've learnt my lesson. I always bring my own waxing gear with me. So if you've got that ability too, then I would maybe hold off on the fresh wax until after a couple of days riding. So that is it. There's my opinion on whether you should wax a brand new ski or snowboard. If you have any questions or would just like to add your opinion, drop it down below in the comments. It's always fantastic to hear from you. I'm going to give a massive shout out to my website for a second, which is linked on the screen. You can go on there and learn a bit more about gear. We've been talking about gear today, and if you'd like to see more gear videos, then please also let me know down below. Are there any questions that you need answered? Because I'll be happy to try and get that sorted for you. If you're not already, please subscribe. There is more of you, over 1,200 people now, which is absolutely insane. There's going to be loads more videos throughout this winter, so thank you very much for supporting the channel. If you found value in this content, consider buying me a coffee. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you next week with another video.